Good afternoon, learners and viewers. We are here this afternoon to tell you something about a course which is titled Communication and Extension in Rural Development, which is a part of the Master's degree in Rural Development. I welcome you to this session, and I feel that this elective, you might have reached it during 1 year to a stage. If you have taken admissions last year in the MA Rural Development, you might have reached it to a stage where you must be now thinking of opting for these electives which are optional, and you will have to take 4 to 5 these optionals this year, one by one. And I thought that we can spend this session at least to tell you something about one of the important electives, which is on communication and extension and rural development, hoping that perhaps some of you may opt for this particular elective. Before we go to the main topic, I think let us revert to the context. When I am saying the context, I am saying that those of you who might have attended this session for the first time, instead of suddenly going to this elective communication and extension, let's give a little bit of background, which I have been quite often repeating, about IGNO very briefly, about the school, and then about this master's degree program, and then we come to the topic on the communication and extension and rural development. Now, I have been telling you, and I am again repeating that all the programs of the Indira Gandhi National Open University were offered through 9 schools, and one among them was School of Continuing Education. We have recently added 2 more schools to this set of 9 schools. We have now the School of Agriculture and School of Law, which has been approved by the competent authority. So in all, 9 plus 2, we have 11 academic schools through which we offer various academic programs of the Indira Gandhi National Open University. You perhaps will be a student of School of Continuing Education, which is one of the schools, one of the 11 schools, academic schools of this university. This is about the academic programs. Have a look at the administrative support which you have with us to reinforce what academic schools are doing, or to provide the supporting services to these 11 schools. We have, you will see on the left hand side, we have the Division of Administration, we have the Finance and Accounts Division, we have a division called International Division, which is dealing with IGNO programs being offered abroad in various countries. We have Academic Coordination Division, which was earlier called Teacher Affairs Division, which looks after the interest of the teachers. We have STRIDE. It is a center for training and research in distance education. Then we have Distance Education Council. You might have heard about it. This is a body which is supposed to determine the quality of distance education in the country. In a way, all those institutions, state open universities, the directorates of distance education across the country are supposed to take that accreditation from Distance Education Council, and they are supposed to determine the quality of distance education in the country. Then we have on the right side Planning and Development Division, a very important division which does the planning for this university. We have another important division called RSD, Regional Services Division. This is the division under which all the IGNO regional centers fall administratively. So whenever you go to a nearby regional center, that is coordinated by this division called RSD, or Regional Services Division. Then we have MPDD. This is another important division, supporting division of IGNO, where you have material production and distribution, publication and distribution of the materials. All the materials which Indira Gandhi National Open University produces is being taken care of by MPDD. Then we have SRE&E. Student Registration and Evaluation Division. This is what in conventional university system is normally called, you have two divisions. You have admission and then you have controller of examination. In here, we have combined these two. So we call it Student Registration and Evaluation. It takes care of the admission of the students who get enrolled for various programs, and then also takes care of the examinations and all other related matters related with admission or evaluation or examination. Then the important division where we are just now telecasting this program is Electronic Media Production Center. Let me tell you, those learners who have joined us for the first time, this Electronic Media Production Center is one of the best centers, I think not in the country, but in Asia. We had, earlier than anybody, all the facilities which are possible under the banner of electronic media to telecast, I think for the first time in India even, to go for a teleconferencing of educational programs. So it has been growing since then, and we have hundreds of video and audio programs which have been produced to support and reinforce learning, which reaches you through the self-learning print material. Now this is the supportive divisions and the academic division. Now if you come to the School of Continuing Education, as I said, one of the schools is School of Continuing Education. I have told you earlier, those of you who have listened to me earlier, that basically the establishment of the School of Education was the outcome of our realization that there is a need for continuation of education beyond initial education, especially in the professional and vocational spheres. You see, when the Open University system was established in the country, initially a need was felt that can we go beyond that normal education, beyond that what used to be offered by the schools, the colleges, the conventional university system and things like, so that those of us who have already got into a profession, if you ask me that after my master's degree or after my PhD, if I have gone into, say for example, in the Department of Rural Development, say for example, it's extremely difficult for me to leave that government job and join the university again. At the same time, there is a need that I should improve upon my own professional knowledge, the vocational knowledge in which I am. So one of the basic ideas of establishing the School of Continuing Education is that can we go in educating, in providing the necessary knowledge to those who need it beyond initial education in professional and vocational fields. That's how the School of Continuing Education became one of the schools among many others at the Indira Gandhi National Open University. Now, initially, and we continue to have that officially even today, we have two basic disciplines in the School of Continuing Education. One is the discipline of rural development, under which we have this master's degree program which you have opted for. The other one was women's education. Now over the years you will see that a number of other areas have been taken care of. We have, strictly speaking, professionally speaking, academically speaking, we have not confined ourselves strictly to these two disciplines but have gone beyond that. What are those areas which we have taken care of? You say, for example, over last 10, 15 years, when we have gone into the field of nutrition and health education. We have gone into the field of early child care and education. We have in the schools programs in all these areas. We have a program, postgraduate diploma in journalism and mass communication. This is basically developed by this Electronic Media Production Center. But since it needed an academic home to be offered, so this has, for offering, it has become a part of the School of Continuing Education. We have taken care of one of the most important urgent areas, which is HIV and family education. We have a certificate program, a diploma program. We had some collaboration with the Commonwealth Secretariat, so we offered a program, Youth and Development Work. We then have taken care of the disabilities, physical disabilities, which number of people face, and you know the type of emphasis which is being given by to the physical disability part. Even in the development programs, you have special reservation, 3% for the physically disabled people. So we have developed some programs. We call it special education rehabilitation, particularly addressed to those who take care of these disabled people. We have, for the first time, offered a very, very interesting master's degree program in dietetics and food service management. I think it is one of the most interesting programs, exciting programs. Number of people, number of young learners are showing interest in this particular field. And then lately we have also now started both bachelor's and master's degree in social work. So you will see initially from those strictly speaking 2 areas of rural development and women education, we have gone into almost like 8 to 9 areas in which the school is working now by developing various distance education interventions. Now, talking and coming back to the rural development, which has been, in fact, the first subject assigned to the School of Continuing Education was rural development. And coming back to that, you will see that over the years, as on today, we have 4 types of programs which we offer in the field of rural development. One is, let me start from here, this is elective in rural development. This one, elective in rural development, is a part of the bachelor's degree program. Actually, what happened then in the late 80s, we were supposed to, under a sponsored project, develop a program for the development functionaries from northeastern Rajasthan, which was offered in the project mode. And subsequently, that very, very useful material was to be used. We thought it is very useful and it can be used. We converted it into an 8-credit program and offered it under the bachelor's degree program as an elective in rural development. Essentially, what does it mean? If you are opting for a bachelor's degree program, you have a choice to take one elective in rural development. Thereby, you get sensitized to rural development, and subsequently, after passing your graduation, you can go to either postgraduate diploma in rural development or master's degree, and you will feel very comfortable if you have a base at the graduation level in rural development. This is one which is continuously being, and even today it continues to be offered. Then second program which we offered from 1992 was initially diploma in rural development, and after 3 to 4 years we made it postgraduate diploma in rural development. This is a program which is for those who have done graduation in any subject and are interested in the field of rural development, in the discipline of rural development. This is a program for them, and this is 1-year program. With 30 credits, you can go home back with a postgraduate diploma in rural development. Now, this is what we had developed in 1992, and then from 96 we offered it as a postgraduate diploma, and subsequently we felt that there are a number of people who take this program may not have even time to spare 1 year to undergo postgraduate diploma in rural development. They may not have a time. They would like still to have some sort of an orientation in the field of rural development. So we thought that a part of this postgraduate diploma in rural development can also be offered as a certificate program in rural development. So 3 courses. The PG diploma consists of 5 courses of 6 credits each. And if someone does 3 courses, compulsory courses of 6 credits each, he can take certificate program of 6 months duration. A person may not have a time. A person may be very busy with his or her profession, but still would like to get oriented, update his or her professional knowledge in the field of rural development, can join the certificate program, and after 6 months can get out of it with the certificate program in rural development. This is one which became an offshoot of the postgraduate diploma in rural development. Then, over the period, we also realize that we have this postgraduate diploma, we have a certificate program, but there was a demand from those who have already passed postgraduate diploma and from others as well After we conducted the study, there we found it was felt that there is a demand that we should have a master's degree in rural development. So since we had a postgraduate diploma, it helped us a great way in developing the master's program. In fact, through postgraduate diploma in rural, we were almost halfway through when we talked about master's degree in rural development. So we have from last year, from July session, we have for the first time offered a master's degree program in rural development. That's what you are a part of it. This is the background with which we have. Now, what is this master's degree program? Now, if you look into the scheme of things which has been developed for master's degree in rural development, let's take the year which has passed. Those of you who have taken admission last year, and those of you who are taking admission will have to go through what you are seeing now. Now, in master's degree, if we take the first year, which is divided into 2 semesters, semester 1 and 2, so that you can manage your time. Now, in the first semester, what we expect you is to undergo 3 courses of 6 credits each. That's rural development Indian context, 2 rural development programs, and 3 rural development planning and development. Now, these are 3 important courses. Earlier, they used to be offered under postgraduate diploma in rural development. But now, they have been revised, completely revised, in fact, rewritten the whole thing. The entire thing is now in a new package. We have only retained the names so that there is some sort of a continuity and there is not a lot of a confusion created. So, these are 3 programs which give you a knowledge base in rural development. Through rural development Indian context, you come to know many things. You also come to know not only the rural development in India, but also the Asian scenario about India. You also come to know about the concept of rural development, the theories of rural development, the concept of rural poverty, the measurement of rural poverty, and things like that. A very wide range of subjects is covered to give you a very strong knowledge base about rural development. Then in the second program, MRD 102, which used to be earlier called RDD 2, now in its new incarnation, it is rural development programs. We almost cover most of the programs which are offered in the field of rural development, either by the Ministry of Rural Development or by other ministries also. Like it also includes programs like DDP, DPAP, SJSY, Sampoon Gramin Rozgar Yojana, and rural housing, IAY, Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana. Even we have taken care of a number of other programs like what is offered. Is when you take an integrated view of the rural development, you don't confine it to SGSY, SGRY, IAY or IRDP, what used to be called earlier, and things like that. And we have gone beyond that to have even Rashtra Mahila Kosh, we have rural housing, we have rural health, we have education. All those aspects which together constitute socio-economic development of rural areas. So it is spread over a large number of programs, again gives you a very strong knowledge base about various rural development interventions being made in our country. Now similarly, in under MRD 103, we talk about, which is necessary, the planning and development. What is that development planning? Which you need to know. What is rural development planning? The management and development. All these things which are related with the planning and management of rural development programs, we have clubbed it into MRD 103 and you get that. So we thought with that, when you do those 3 important compulsory courses, you as a learner will be having a very strong knowledge base about what is termed as the rural development, the discipline of rural development. Now, in the second part of the second semester, we expect you to undergo 2 courses. One is Research Methods in Rural Development. This is a 6-credit course where you get a theoretical orientation to the research methodology. You need to have, before you go into real practical or preparing a project report or going for a field survey or interviews or observe, whatever the method you use, you need to have a very strong theoretical orientation about various concepts, theories and methods which constitute a research methodology. So this is a 6-credit course, MRD 004, where you have to undergo through this research methods in rural development. We have tried in this to dovetail various social science methods to the field of rural development. That's the specialty in it. And once you do this course, then what we expect you is to go for a dissertation, to go for a project work, which is 12 credits, equivalent to 2 courses. Since you are now a student of master's degree in rural development, in earlier in PGDRD we had a project work of only 6 credits, but here it is 12 credits. Since you are a student of master's degree, we expect you that after you get into master's degree in rural development, you are able to take independent research in the field of rural development. It could be that those of you who are not professionally engaged can use this knowledge, this experience in getting into MPhil and PhD in the field of rural development. A very valuable input. But even if you are not going into that type of a degree of MPhil or PhD, even if you are working in the Department of Rural Development or an NGO or a banking sector, you should be able to take the studies, you should be able to conduct research in the field of rural development with this type of experience, what you will be gaining through this dissertation of 12 credits. Now this was the first year. I think most of you have passed through that. Now coming to the 3rd and 4th semester, which you are in, those of you who have taken admissions last year, you have a choice now. This year in 3rd and 4th semester, you will have to go for 5 optional courses. We are not giving you a very big choice. We are giving you a choice of 6 only. And hopefully in the next couple of years, we'll be able to give you much larger choice than these 6. So out of these 6, you will have to take 5 optional courses. You have the courses like rural health care, must be reaching you. Communication and extension rural development, on way, must be reaching you again, and rural social development. These 3 you will receive immediately so that you can start working on that. Then you will have voluntary action in rural development in the pipeline, land reforms in rural development, and entrepreneurship in rural development. These 3 will follow depending upon the choice which you have given. You will receive 5 of them, but 3 are on way. So out of these 3, those of you some of you might have opted for RDD 7, which is communication and extension in rural development. To me, this is a very, very important course and subject, because to me, as a student of rural development itself becomes immaterial unless you have a sufficient knowledge about the communication and extension. About the communication is the skill, and then extension in rural development. What has happened so far? Let me tell you very frankly. This RDD 7, which is, as I said, which is the part of the elective, so far extension has been taken. Whenever we talked about extension, it was taken as a part of the agriculture extension. We have not gone beyond that. But here in this course, we have linked the communication with extension in the field of rural development. So we have done this by giving you 3 blocks. 1, basic principles. Number one, basic principles and techniques of communication. You need to know about the basic principles and techniques of communication. We'll be talking about this after a few minutes. The second, you need to know extension concepts, philosophy and approach. And the third is planning, communication, extension support for rural development. It has really, you will see, it has turned into a sort of a professional course, where we are talking of theories, we are talking of concepts, we are talking of processes of communication, but at the same time we are also talking of something like how you can do as a development functionary, as a learner, as a student in rural development, how you can do when you go into the field, how can you plan communication extension support for rural development. Now if we see the first block, what happens in the first block, it has 3 units. One, in which we tell you meaning, concept and functions of communication. Then in the second one we tell you communication channels and their use in rural development. And in the third one we tell you communication media mix for rural development. It is necessary that we tell you in the beginning, when we are orienting you to the basic principles and techniques of communication, that we tell you what is the meaning and concept and functions of communication. We also tell you what is communication channels and their use in rural development. There are various channels being used. And then we also tell you about communication media mix for rural development. Why we are talking about this media mix for rural development? Because if you see in our rural society today also, although we talk about e-governance, although we talk about lot of new communication technology which has come into play, we still have number of basic constraints when we talk of application of this technology in the rural areas. So if we should not allow those constraints to overcome us. We have to overcome them by going for something like what we have discussed in the course, a media mix. And we'll be telling you something about this. Now the second block, which is equally important, is where we tell you about the concept, philosophy and principles of extension. Once we are talking about this, again we have taken a sort of a rational view between agriculture and rural development. We have told you, even in the historical development of rural extension in India, we have told you about agriculture extension, but at the same time we have also discussed in detail what models of extension were there in India, even in the pre-independence period. So we are tracing the historical development of rural extension in India. And then after tracing that historical development of the rural extension in India, we are going to a very, very important subject called types of rural extension. When we are talking about types of rural extension, please remember, under those 7 rural extension types, one is agriculture extension. Because when we talk about rural development, as I said, means the total socio-economic development. And once we talk about a comprehensive socio-economic development, there are a number of aspects of development which come into play. Agriculture being perhaps important and one among them, but not the only one. We have to talk about, under these types of rural extension, we have to talk about rural health extension. We have to talk about rural education extension. We have to talk about rural industrial extension. We have to talk about rural forestry extension, and so on and so forth. So it is not. Then agriculture extension as well. Because we still have in the rural areas, predominance of agricultural practices still prevalent in the rural area. So we cannot overlook it. But when you talk about rural development, then you have, along with it, you have to take care of many other types of extensions as well. So this is a very, very important unit. In fact, you'll be surprised when I started, preparing this. Not one, 6 people were involved in writing 5,000 words. Because we haven't given any thought to it, that something is important. We have to develop a new concept of rural extension. We were getting held up in, as I said, traditionally in the agriculture extension services and theories and concepts and things like that. So in order to get out of that and see that what we can do is to develop a concept of rural extension, we had to bring in the experts from 6 to 7 fields to prepare this particular unit. Then we also talk about extension methods. These are very important. You see, when I'm talking of extension, I'm also linking it with the basic thing what we say, communication and extension. Now, communication becomes a method also, becomes a carrier also, becomes effective, becomes ineffective. If you don't have a effective communication, the whole thing gets lost. The two go together. So we have these. We have to tell you what are various types of extension methods which are available, so that once you go into the field, you can choose from among the methods, depending upon the methods given and the methodology given, how to choose various methods. Then the third block, very, very important block, is communication support. First unit, extension management, how to manage this whole concept of extension. Organizational communication, because you will be working in a particular organization. You should know about what type of organizational communication things take place in a particular organization, how to improve upon organizational communication. And importantly, the fourth unit, communication strategies for rural development media mix, what I was talking to you. What are those strategies? How to develop these communication strategies for rural development? By combining various medias. It's not necessary that we go through a single. We will be touching upon this a little bit if time permits. Let's see how much time we have. Now, apart from this, what we are giving you in the shape of a self-learning print material, which you will receive in the shape of the booklets, A4 size, you might have received, and these are some of the on rural extension. You will have these three. Those of you who might have not received it will be receiving these 3 blocks with a guide and other things, whatever you have. Other than this, how do we reinforce this self-learning print material? We do it, as I said, by 2 other components. One is the audio-video component, and the second is the type of counseling you get at the study center level. Now, as far as the audio-video component is concerned, let me give you some idea about what I have been directly involved in. There are a number of programs which are under preparation, which are under production. Some of them in the video, as far as the video is concerned, we have fundamentals of communication under preparation. We have Sampurn Gramin Rozgar Yojana. We have Sanujanti Sabha Rozgar Yojana, SJSY. We have DDP, DPAP. We have Village India video getting ready, Agriculture Extension Service video getting ready, Prime Minister's Rozgar Yojana video getting ready. So we are collecting on this side. This is the whole video side. Number of other programs, I'm talking of only few, which are under production, and hopefully within the next few months you should be getting most of them. Okay? Then, on the other hand, we have audio programs also ready. Say, for example, in audio programs, we have given emphasis on rural banking, which is one of the things you are learning there. Rural education, because we have not taken care of that through the video, so we thought we'll give special emphasis through audio. Impact of technology, rural technology, how does it have? Anti-poverty programs, and rural health care, and many others. You will have about a dozen audio, about a dozen video programs coming during this year. You might have not received them last year because they were all under production, and as soon as they get ready, we'll go on sending them to the study centers. You can take advantage, and simultaneously you can go on attending the sessions which we give you as a compensation. We can discuss many things if we get in touch with each other, if we know your problems, if we know what you expect us to deliver. We'll be more than happy to do the same for you, so that we come on the same line. Now let's come quickly to what is communication. This is the crux of this particular course which you will be opting for. Communication is a process of transmitting a meaning between the individuals. You want to make some other person to understand what do you mean by a particular, whatever you want to say. Or it's a process by which an individual transmits stimuli to modify the behavior of another. Why do you conduct training programs? Why do you have so much of importance given to the communication? I think I conduct a training program because I want to communicate to them that knowledge, that understanding, update their skills so that it changes it modifies their behavior. It makes them more effective professionals. I am doing it by effective communication. I am doing it by a process called communication. So there are various definitions. I don't want to go into this, but what I am trying to emphasize is that what are the characteristics of this communication, the concept of communication when we are talking. What are those characteristics? It has a couple of important characteristics. 4 among them are: communication is continuous. When we say that communication is continuous, it essentially means, in simple language में अगर हम इसको कहेंगे, तो simple language, मैं शुरू कर देता हूँ communication आपके साथ और मुझे नहीं पता मैं कब तक कहता रहूँगा. You don't know. I may speak for 5 minutes, I may speak for 10 minutes, I may speak for 20 minutes. So it's a continuous process. I don't know मैं कहाँ खत्म करने वाला हूँ. It could continue. It is personal. आप मुझे क्या कह रहे हैं, मैं आपसे क्या कह रहा हूँ, इसका मीनिंग निकालना is personal to me. एक ही आदमी एक चीज बता देता है, the two people take it two different ways. एक अपना मीनिंग निकालता है, एक अपना मीनिंग निकालता है. It applies to two different situations. So again, it comes to personal. It is personal. Then it is circular. You don't know why does it end, where does it start. It can start again, it can go again in a circle. So communication का एक characteristic is circular. Fourth one is communication is also irreversible. मैंने एक दफा कुछ कहा, मैंने आपको एक चिट्ठी लिखी. If I disclose something through that letter to you, it has reached you. अब ये वापस नहीं आ सकता. Even if I withdraw my letter, even if the message which has to go has gone. You know, say for example, finance minister has to give the budget or any other. अगर वो एक रात पहले ये कहे कि मैं इतना टैक्स बढ़ा रहा हूँ या इस पर मैं इतना घटा रहा हूँ, that communication goes. Even if he says 20 times I withdraw, it doesn't. It goes. So sometimes when communication is communicated, it becomes irreversible कि मैंने नहीं कहा. So these are characteristics of the communication which you need to know when you are dealing with the subject of communication, particularly in the field of rural development, where you have to have this type of a communication with the people who may not be at times literate to understand your various concepts. You have to simplify it. आपको बहुत आसान तरीके से उनके साथ communicate करना है so that they understand. And you have to be a very good communicator if you want to be a very good rural development practitioner. Communication is the basic qualification which you need. Effective communication. Now, what are the elements of communication? इसमें 4 elements होते हैं. एक होता है कि communication जहां से निकलता है, you call it source. दूसरा, what is the message? इस communication अगर source से निकला तो message क्या है? तीसरा है channel, किस channel से आप इसको communicate कर रहे हैं, and the fourth is receiver. So there are 4 elements of communication: the source, the message, the channel and the receiver. मैंने यहाँ से दिखाया है थोड़ा सा, it's noise. और यहाँ से noise को अगर हम यहाँ से कर लेंगे ऊपर से, तो यहाँ से हम करेंगे feedback भी आ जाता है. भाई communication was effective, communication was not effective, बहुत अच्छी थी, आपने जो बोला बहुत ही अच्छा बोला, मैं एकदम तंग रह गया. So that's a feedback. Or there was a distortion, he was not able to communicate properly, वहाँ शोर बहुत ज़्यादा था. So it has also, within that, when you are talking of elements of communication, you have to also pay a little bit of attention to the noise or other things which are associated with the process of communication. Now, if we go, we turn it into a sort of an example. Say, for example, source किसको कहते हैं? Let's give an example. दूरदर्शन. क्योंकि हम यहाँ बैठे हैं, let's talk about दूरदर्शन. दूरदर्शन is a source. And what is message? आपको पता है एक प्रोग्राम है बहुत ही फेमस है, कृषि दर्शन is a program. Okay? Now this is the program and TV is the channel and receiver is the viewer. और इसको हम थोड़ा सा चेंज करेंगे. देखिए, Ministry of Rural Development is the source. Guideline to a rural development program is the message. Print through which they go to the receiver, the development functionary or a beneficiary. It becomes easy. अगर मैं आपको इस तरह न दिखाऊं तो आपके समझ में नहीं आएगा. अगर मैं खाली कहता रहूंगा, you will not be able to. So this visual becomes through the visuals when I am showing you, the communication becomes effective. Okay? Now, what is then a communication channel? It is a means by which a message travels from a source to a receiver, जो आपने देखा. And selection of communication channel plays an important role to carry the message, particularly in case of rural development. आप कैसे अपना communication, कैसे message देते हैं rural development, that is very important as far as the rural development is concerned. You will have to take care of that. What are the considerations in choosing a communication channel? आपको ये देखना है what is available, how much money can be spent, preference of the channel by the receiver, वो किस चीज को ज्यादा पसंद करते हैं, which channel have the most impact, सबसे ज्यादा असर किस चैनल का है, और adaptability of channel to the content of the, क्या आप उस content जिसको आप बताना चाहेंगे उसको वो adapt कर सकता है या नहीं. Okay? Now, communication strategy for rural development, media mix, जो मैंने आपसे कहा कि मीडिया मिक्स कैसे है, मुझे लगता है रूरल डेवलपमेंट के लिए इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. व्हाट इज अ स्ट्रेटजी? कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजी इज अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ मेथड्स, मैसेजेस एंड अप्रोचेस बाय व्हिच द प्लानर सीक्स टू अचीव द कम्युनिकेशन ऑब्जेक्टिव. This is an simple definition. 4 things you need to know to develop a communication strategy. 1, the need problem for which communication support is needed. द ऑडियंस, जिसको हम ऑडियंस एनालिसिस भी कहते हैं, उसको जरूरी है उनकी खोज करना, रिसर्च से उनका पता कराना, उनकी प्रेफरेंसेस, उनके एटीट्यूड, लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज, हाउ टू सेट कम्युनिकेशन ऑब्जेक्टिव्स आर गोल, एंड हाउ टू डिजाइन ए स्ट्रेटेजी. नाउ जब आप इसको कर रहे हैं तो आपका स्टेप 1 है, स्टेप 1 इन द मैनेजमेंट प्लान, ऑडियंस एनालिसिस. स्टेप 2, you have to set the objective. Third, you have to design a strategy. What is audience analysis? What is audience analysis? That how much they know about the subject, what are their attitudes and feelings, and so on and so forth. You have to know about all these things. Then what is objective setting? It should be relevant, it should be logical, it should be feasible, it should be observable, and it should be measurable. उसके बाद कैसे आप करते हैं? This is the designing a strategy. आप एक मैसेज बनाते हैं, identification of these diseases करके, selection of the pesticides, informing and educating is your approach, method is demonstration, channel is extension worker. This is how you achieve this goal, that majority of the farmers in the target area should be able to identify the disease and select and use appropriate pesticides. अगर आपका ये गोल है, आपने ये अप्रोच इस्तेमाल किया, आपने ये मैसेज दे दी, ये मेथड इस्तेमाल किया, डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन बिकेम द, दिस इज द चैनल थ्रू विच यू हैव यूज्ड, यू आर ट्राइंग टू अचीव द गोल. इस तरह से एक आप जब आप फील्ड में हो जाते हैं तो आप एक अपनी कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजी को डिजाइन कर सकते हैं. इट्स नॉट टू बी टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड जैसे हम लेते हैं. You have to go through these methods, and this course which I am telling you will be able to give you a lot of these things. You see, you talk of situational analysis. एक इसमें आता है lack of awareness. I think communication is the best answer to that. I will just give you a second here, because we have come to the conclusion. We have the time constraint here. We'll be meeting next time. That this communication, you can make it as a very, very interesting input in the process of rural development. What you have to do is, through this course, please equip yourself. पहले अपने आप को equip करिए. Various methods, कैसे methodology इस्तेमाल करते हैं to develop a communication strategy for a particular intervention we want. So rural development and communication and extension goes together. If you understand this course, you will become an effective rural development practitioner. I'll stop here. And thank you very much for being with us. I know I was a little bit rushing a bit, but thank you very much for listening to me. And I expect you, I'll not complain, I expect you that you will you will view our programs more and more and come up with a lot of questions next time when we'll be meeting you with some other topic. Thank you very much. God bless you.